Well, hi, my name is Tim Shoemaker, and I'm honored to welcome you to this event. My wife Cheryl and I raised 3 boys, and we did a rite of passage event with each one of them. By God's grace, I'm thankful to say that each one of these boys are walking with the Lord today. Now, having a rite of passage isn't a guarantee of that, but it's a really, really good idea. And as the boys were growing up, I was very concerned about making sure they would know about God and the principles He's given us to live by. But I had probably a half a bookshelf full of family devotion ideas, things that are family devotion books, things that I had started and stopped because they really weren't working with the kids. And eventually I started working with my own ideas. They were mainly object lessons and activities and visuals that I was doing. And it was working so well that in time I started writing these down because I thought, hey, you know what? Maybe someday my boys will want to use them with their kids. And I was at a writer's conference, and I was pitching a fiction idea I had to an editor there, and he really wasn't interested. And he said, what else do you have? And I was like, well, nothing except these family devotion things I've done with my kids that I've been writing down. Making a long story short, that was just the beginning of what turned out to be a series of books on family devotions. It turns out God had a lot bigger plans than I'd ever anticipated with that. Whether you use my ideas or my books or somebody else's doesn't really matter, but the key is this: be sure that you're taking time at home to teach your kids about God and the principles He's given us to live by. Plan it out in advance, make it fun. Now, a rite of passage and having family devotions at home is only part of the equation. You know how when you ride an airplane, in the very beginning there'll be an attendant that will talk to you about if the cabin suddenly loses pressure, that what? An oxygen mask will drop from the overhead compartment, right? What do they tell you to do if you're traveling with kids? Put the mask on you first, right? Why? So that you're able to breathe and help the kids. Same thing applies spiritually. If we really want to help our kids spiritually, we need to make sure that we're connected first. We need to be working on our walk so that we'll be able to really help our kids. Now, you'll sin, you'll mess up, but get up afterwards and keep going. Remember, how you live, especially at home, how you treat your spouse, that is like Exhibit A as to what being a Christian man is all about. And we're to be an example in life, in love, in faith, in speech, in purity of what a believer is really to be about. Don't put your job or interests or sin ahead of your relationship with God or your wife or your kids. Hebrews 12:1. Let me read you that verse, a familiar verse, but it says this: therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race that is marked out for us. Boy, I tell you what, you'll never regret the effort you put into obeying that verse and obeying Scripture as a whole. Guys, you need to stay in the Word every day. Now, let me run through one idea with you that you might be able to use, but we're going to have to go outside to do this. Okay, we're back. I'm outside now, and what I've got 3 different tubes of different kinds of paste. I've wrapped them in aluminum foil so you can't see exactly what they are. I use these to write a name on 3 different boards. Now, what I'd like to do is I want to ignite this. So let's take some fire to this and see what happens, okay? There we go. Well, this is kind of interesting. As you can see here, it's really not igniting it, is it? It's really just kind of melting it here. All right? So I think we're gonna stop with this. Definitely didn't ignite, and it's melting. All right. Try another one. Let's try Ted. Oh, okay. You hear a little popping there. Definitely got some interesting action. It's getting little surface pops, little explosions, but it's really not igniting. Can you hear that? Yeah, it's kind of neat. Okay. But it's definitely not igniting. Let's try another one. Okay, and here we go. Oh, yeah. This is what we're talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Now that's what I call igniting. All right, let's go back inside and make some sense of this. Well, I'm back, and we didn't burn down the house, so that's a really good thing. Now, the object of what we were doing there is we wanted the names to ignite. We wanted to ignite those letters, but only one of them did. This is a picture of many Christian people. You know, they can go to church or they can read the Word with little or no effect on their daily life, little or no effect on their heart. The first paste that we used, it was toothpaste. You know, some Christians are just really concerned about how they look, and that's about as deep as it goes. The second paste we used, Desitin. It's a diaper rash ointment for babies. You know, some Christians are mainly concerned about feeling good, and that's about as far as it goes. Now, the third one we used, the one that ignited so well, fire paste. Available in stores that sell camping supplies. It's used to start campfires. This is the kind of man I want to be. And I think you do too, right? One who hears the word and it burns deep in us. It ignites us. It changes us. That's what we want for ourselves. That's what we want for our kids. And I believe it starts with a desire to be God's man or God's boy or God's girl. A desire to be all that He's planned for us to be. Pass through the fire is a great event. It's excellent what you're doing. And I pray that you and the kids will be on fire as well. Keep teaching the kids. Keep modeling it yourselves. Let me read you a couple of verses in 1 Corinthians that I shared with my boys as we did the rite of passage night. 1 Corinthians 16, 13, and 14. Be on your guard. Stand firm in the faith. Be men of courage. Be strong. Do everything in love.